What's up, Fortnite fam? The Chapter 2 Season 6 FNCS Finals just wrapped up, and we have our new FNCS champions in every region, as well as the top 3 teams that will move on to play again in the next FNCS. The finals were 2 days filled with the best clutches and the craziest plays. Each region had their own magic and awesome story. So let's fly across the globe and take a trip down memory lane, looking at the best trios from this FNCS.
In the Middle East, Wagner, Dexifite, and I4X Pro secured their second FNCS champion title all the way in first place. This trio placed 5th last season and won Season 4's FNCS, and this time they rolled up again with nothing to lose and the crown to gain. Both also going into the double-digit dimension in terms of eliminations, and were one of the most consistent trios on day 2, getting 1 third and 2 second places, securing their spot at the top. Lots of trios have complications, split up, and try new things. The Middle East champions show you that if you have the right teammates, stick together, and put in the work, it's the best play to run. It makes competing a lot of fun and a very successful experience at the end of the day.
In Asia, Kawaz Allen, Shmoky, and Champion Esports Force were your FNCS champions after 12 games played over 2 days. At the end of the first day of competition, though, the halfway mark inside the FNCS finals, it was so close. The first place team all the way down to the 10th place team was just 1 game of points away from each other. This trio got a rockier start to day number 2, but then soared fast and high to compete for the top spot. This is the same trio that didn't do too well inside the qualifiers, not even reaching a top 10 finish on the leaderboard at the end of the day. They persevered though, and did really well in the heats with a 3rd place finish, pumped up and gassed up in both days of the finals, and these are the Asia FNCS champions.
OCE is a region where the top teams play in what looks like a league of their own, above everyone else, and you can see that in the action after this weekend's comeback and earth-shattering performance from Muzz, Looter, and Speedy, the TNA trio. They are now 2 times FNCS champions, and on the first day were 43 points behind the team that ended up finishing in 2nd place, Bathen, Zdox, and CO. Looter's trio had an insane performance on day 2 to catch up, similar to last season as well, where they were down 45 points. And after conquering OCE yet again, there are rumors they're looking to spread this dynasty internationally come next FNCS. Whether we see them in OCE or NAE next season, the fact remains you can never count out this trio. If you ever see them behind you on the leaderboard, you better watch out, because they only ever settle for first. Besides, we saw how the last invasion of NAE went from OCE.
O campeão voltou, mas com uma cara nova. C1 e Cadu renovam a sua picareta de campeões da FNCS, mas dessa vez com outro rei, o FaZe King. A combinação Brasil e Argentina se mostrou eficiente mais uma vez nessa FNCS, sagrando esse trio como campeões da região do Brasil em uma das competições mais disputadas dos últimos tempos. Mesmo com a vaga para a grande final garantida como campeões da última temporada, o duo de Cadu e C1 decidiu trazer um novo reforço e teve que disputar as etapas classificatórias novamente. Eles levaram um tempinho para esquentar os motores e garantiram a sua vaga nas finais da FNCS na semana 3 das classificatórias. Na grande final, com 2 vitórias Royale no primeiro dia, fecharam a sessão 1 no top 3 com 158 pontos. No segundo dia da grande final, eles não levaram nenhuma vitória Royale, mas o resultado acumulado provou que esse foi o trio de melhor atuação, fechando o primeiro lugar com 21 pontos na frente do segundo colocado. Esse trio mostra que com trabalho duro e nomes pesados é possível sim se reinventar em uma temporada tão diferente como essa e renovar o título de campeões da FNCS.
EU was a close race all the way to the final game. Queasy, Trulex, Jerky ended up being faster, better, cleaner, and stronger than everyone else as a trio. This is the picture-perfect finale of their story across so many seasons of FNCS. Queasy and Trulex tried their best in FNCS duos, falling short and ending 2nd in their final match. Each season, all 3 members looked good, made finals, but could never reach the top of the podium no matter how much they tried. Last season, they all placed beside each other in the top 15 playing with different trios. They changed things up this season though and banded together to attack the FNCS, with an amazing split of Spawn and a plan to take over Endgame. stealing hype from whoever has it and finishing out games with a bang. Facing down their old teammates as well as the fears of failure in these finals, they came out on the other side strong, winning out based on placement in the last game, going head to head with Refsguard and Dretta and Mr. Savage. They now hold the title of FNCS champions in one of the hardest regions to compete in worldwide.
North America East is now owned by Day, Miro, and Reverse 2K, the Endless Trio, leaving a stamp in living in players' heads rent-free after being champions in Season 4. This win gave them the entire lease of NA East, and no one can disrespect the way this trio approaches the game. Days before the finals, Reverse 2K released a video stating how confident he was about the finals, as well as calling out every other trio in the region. He talked the talk, and then he ran the walk alongside Miro and Day, dominating on both days and having a clutch Game 12 securing the top spot for the trio. Miro went insane on eliminations the game prior, and they upset Scented, Commandment, and Edgy, who until this day had never lost a tournament coming into the final game where they had held the lead. This might be the perfect trio who play an unorthodox Elam-heavy low-ground survival type of Fortnite, which is unapproachable and untouchable for other teams, and they have their sights on the next FNCS, getting scarier and stronger each season.
To wrap things up for Season 6, we're saving the West for last. Arcrum Rex and Epic Whale, the back-to-back champions, made their triumphant return to the FNCS stage in hopes of claiming their third crown in a row. However, if there was one team that could stand in their way, it would be Kenshi, Snacky, and Favs. Just last season, Kenshi and Snacky had a fantastic performance in the Grand Finals, finishing in second place, but they wanted more. Dropping Chris meant giving up their automatic spot in the Season 6 finals, but also meant a new opportunity to steal the crown. And after their Day 1 performance, they were positioned to do just that. They ended the first day in the #1 spot, grabbing 2 second-place finishes and an incredible Game 6 victory royale with 15 eliminations. Arcrum Rex and Epic Whale were close behind in third, but with no first or second-place finishes, it looked like their three-peat was about to be a dream. That was until the next day. Arcrum's team continued to play one of the most consistent performances we have ever seen in the FNCS, never dropping below 10th place in all 12 games. However, after Game 10, when Kenshi's team claimed another double-digit elimination VR, it was time for the reigning champs to step up and leave it to Arcrum Rex and Epic Whale to finish off the tournament with 2 back-to-back victory royales, not only cementing their spot in first place, but also proving without a doubt that they deserve the title of the back-to-back-to-back 3-time champs.
The Axe of Champions is now in the hands of the best trio in each region across the world. The finals were a showing of how much Fortnite has grown, and how each team has to adapt to the changes and rise to the top, or fall, waiting for another day to try and sit on top of the throne. This might be it for this season, Fortnite fam, but the FNCS will return. Champions new and old will have to defend the throne from teams in the shadows, getting stronger and thinking about ways to rise. We hope you enjoyed the finals as much as we did. Stay safe and strapped in for next season, and as always, we'll see everyone next time on that battle bus.